All right, still in Montana, I-90 between the Idaho border and Missoula and there. And it's just absolutely beautiful country. Unfortunately, it's kind of hazy and smoky from some forest fires. Really sad that a lot of times if you come through here and it's clear, the mountains just jump out at you. It's just really gorgeous. It's still pretty, but it's especially the mountains at a little bit of a distance. You can't really see them too much because of all the smoke in the air. But anyhow, so a few years later, my dad had been stationed in Japan. He came back to the United States, and then he actually was stationed over in Spain. And I want to say he was over there for 3 years, 2 to 3 years, but I think if I recall correctly, it was 3 years. But anyhow, when he was coming home from Spain, he had remarried again, so his third wife now, and he came home, and he and his wife, they going back to Great Falls, but from Spain, they landed in New Jersey, and he went and bought himself a brand new Ford Bronco to drive across the country, he and his third wife. So he arranged for my sister Denise and I to fly from Great Falls over to Minnesota, to Minneapolis, and to meet him there whenever he was going to be there. That's where he was originally from. From International Falls area, grew up in Big Falls, which is a small town south of there. So a lot of family that he still had in Minnesota, including some down in Twin Cities area. So we flew into Twin Cities, and during that trip, picked us up in his new Bronco, and we went and visited everybody, it seems. Clear up in International Falls, Big Falls, Clear Lake. I just remember a lot of different visits that we made, and I want to say we even went over to Valley City, North Dakota on that trip, and stopped and visited my grandpa George. But anyhow, what I remember, what I wanted to share is that a couple things. We were staying at my grandma Helen's house in Big Falls. Grandma Helen is my dad's mother, and so we were staying there and had some other family staying there as well, and so I had little cousins close to my age. And so one of the things I remembered is I was going into, by this time I was I think going into 7th grade. So I was 12 or 13. In fact, I would have been 12 that summer and turned 13 when I was in 7th grade. So I would have been 12. And so we flew over there in this brand new Ford Bronco. We were there and had, I was always fascinated with driving. I would watch, if I was a passenger, I would always ask the driver questions about it, and I'd pay close attention and watch how they got the car to go and steered and everything like that. So I asked my dad if I could drive his Bronco. So we're out of my grandma Helen's house, and she had a circular driveway. And so in front of the other family members, I asked him if I could go drive his Bronco, and he said sure, and he handed me the keys, and he said, just don't leave the driveway. So it was a gravel circular driveway. He let me drive. I was 12 years old. Let me drive this brand new Ford Bronco around and around this circular driveway, and I actually have memories of doing that. I thought that was the coolest thing. So that's the first time I ever drove a car. That was a lot of fun. The other thing I remember about being there at Grandma Helen's house is my cousins and I, sort of out in the country. It's a town called Big Falls, but it's pretty small, so it's pretty rural. And one of the things I remember is my cousins and I being outside with BB guns shooting birds. That's not something I'd want my kids doing, so don't get any ideas. But at that time, apparently, that's what people did. So we were just out shooting birds with BB guns, and we would come back and brag about how many birds we killed. So anyway, yeah, crazy things. But those are two other memories that I had from that trip. I want to say that during that trip also, another memory is I had started running, distance running. I wasn't very good at it yet, but 12 years old. And so, but I enjoyed running. And so my stepmother was also a runner. And so we went running together. And I remember, I've always had a thing for cemeteries, even at a young age. But so I remember running through a cemetery, and it was foggy, and so there was a layer of fog that would be right about, just below our heads. So our heads would be sort of out of the fog, but the rest of our body would be in the fog. It was just like this layer in the morning. And so we're running along, and all of a sudden we see something keep bouncing up above the fog, and we realized it was a deer that was running through the cemetery. And you couldn't see the deer's body. You only saw its head when it would, bounce up and down out of the fog. So I actually have a memory of that. I wonder if she would remember that at all. But that was, I thought that was really cool. So anyway, I'll share more a little bit later.